Okay, number one, what's the first thing we're going to do? Find the greatest common factor, right? Find the greatest common factor. So for number one, what is the greatest common factor?
4.
Angelo, what are we left with?
You're left with 1k squared minus 5k minus 50.
Good. Okay. So we take the greatest common factor out first, and then after we do that, Patrick, what do we do?
Then you gotta find one that adds to negative 5 and multiplies to negative
Good. And what did you get?
10
10
negative 5.
and negative 5. So let's just double check ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Will it be wrong if it's negative 5 and then 10?
No. Jake, question? Okay, moving on. 10 times negative 5 is negative 50. 10 plus negative 5, what does that equal? Positive 5. So what's the problem? The 10 has to be negative and the 5 has to be positive. So make sure you check yourself right after you do it. You'll have plenty of time for the quiz. Don't just scribble an answer and hurry up and turn it in. It's not a race to see how fast you can turn your quiz in. Okay?
No.
All right, number 2, Austin.
All right. So you got 1, 1x. All right, then you do parentheses, and you'll get x squared minus 9x plus 8.
There you go. Okay, let's factor that one. Walker.
X. Wait. Yeah. Wait, you want the. Okay, yeah. 1 and 8.
Are they positive or negative?
Plus 1 plus 8.
Plus 1 plus 8. Okay, let's check ourselves. What does 1 times 8 equal?
8.
Okay, so that's good. What's 1 plus 8?
9.
9. What do I want?
Negative.
So what do I have to do?
2 negative.
Both negative. Check your answer after you do it. Okay. Jake, yes.
Should I submit it and fix it?
No. Annabella, number 3.
Number 3, you're going to divide by 3x.
Okay, factor 3x out, okay?
Then you get 3x to the third.
No.
Oh, wait, sorry. You get x to the second plus 9x plus 18.
Good. Okay. Jake, I'm not grading on accuracy on that worksheet, so just leave it be. It's fine.
No, I just wanted to fix it because I just wanted to.
Okay. You can if you want to. Okay, so let's see here. Sam, what do we get when we factor this one?
You get that, and then you get a positive 3, positive 6.
There you go. Good. Double checking it. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 plus 6 is 9. So we're good.
Miss Murray?
Yes.
Does it really matter on the one above it? I put the 3x squared in instead of just the x squared.
Yes.
I put that in there, but I got the right answer. Does it really matter?
Yes. Because these are not equivalent. Yes, they're not equivalent. It's not correct. So yes, I would count off for that. Okay, things to remember, right, on your quiz, right? Things to remember. Things to remember. Ladies, you can't remember if you don't hear it. Okay? Things to remember. When you factor out your greatest common factor, make sure that you continue to bring it down as you work through the problem. Okay? When you factor out the greatest common factor, be very careful with what's left inside the parenthesis. So if you have a wrong number here, even though you factored it correctly down here, it's wrong. Right? Because what we are saying when we're doing this is we're basically saying that this is equal to that, and that's equal to that. Well, that's not even true if there's a 3 there. They're not equal. Okay, so be careful. These problems, you know where your biggest mistake's going to be? You rush through it. You want a good grade, right? You want an A. Don't rush through it. It's not a race to get done. I don't know what you think you're going to do when you're done. You're not going to take your iPads out. So when you're finished, you're not going to watch any movies or TV shows or game film or email your friend or teacher or text your mom. You're not going to do any of that. So don't rush through it. Get them correct. I don't want to see this type of stuff going on, right? Just do it correctly. Take your time. Have pride in your work. Do the best you can do. Don't give me your scribbled stuff. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, number 4. Ava, what'd you get for 4?
1 for the factor.
Okay, so, and we don't have to write that, right? Okay, so there's no greatest common factor other than 1, so we don't have to write it. So we can skip that step and we go right to this step.
It's not wrong if you do write it, right?
It's not wrong if you do write it.
I got n minus 8 n plus 10.
N minus 8, n plus 10. Okay, let's check ourselves. Negative 8 times 10 equals?
-8.
Negative 80. What's negative 8 plus 10?
+2.
What do we want?
-2.
Look, we just did 4 problems, and in 3 of them, we had the wrong signs.
That's not big.
Right? That's not good. We just did 4 problems, and in 3 of them, we had the wrong sign. So far, we have a 25. Okay? You've got to be careful. Check yourself. Here's the thing. You all know how to do this. I'm hearing it. You know what to do. You just have to take that extra time to check it. Okay? Number 5, Najee.
Can you write an answer?
What did you do?
I factored out R.
Okay, factor out a greatest common factor of R. And what are you left with?
R to the second minus 12 R plus 35.
Good. Manuela, what do I do now?
Then you're going to do the factors.
Okay,
R minus 7, and then R minus 5.
okay, let's check it. Negative 7 times negative 5 equals positive 35. What's negative 7 plus negative 5? Negative 12, so that's good. Good job. Rod, number 6, please.
I factored out 5.
Okay,
Then I was left with x squared minus 2x minus 8.
okay. All right, let's keep going. Go ahead, Rod.
Put x plus 8 and x minus 10.
Perfect. Good job. Okay. Yes, Jake.
Would it be wrong if you put X plus negative 10?
No, would not be wrong. Okay. Let's see. Timmy, number 7. Okay. X plus what was it? 6. Good. X plus 6. X minus 4. Very good. Okay. All right. Nico. Oh, yes, question.
When it's already in the form that you need it to be, do you have to put the 1?
No, you don't have to. Okay. Nico, number 8.
So I factored out 2,
Good.
and then you're left with K squared minus 4K minus 60.
All right. Good.
And then I put plus 10 minus 6.
Okay. Plus 10.
Wait, no, that's
It's wrong. What should it be? Good for you for recognizing that it's wrong. How do you know it's wrong? Did someone tell you it was wrong?
Is it plus 10 minus 6?
You tell me.
Oh, that's what I put. Minus 10 plus 6.
How do you know that?
That's what I had.
That's not going to help you on the quiz. How do we know if it's wrong?
Because it doesn't add up to the.
Yeah, doesn't add up, right? When I add 10 and negative 6, I get a positive 4. I need a negative 4. So we're going to change it to minus 10 plus 6. Good job. Okay. Okay, Angel, number 9.
I did the greatest common factor as 3.
Okay,
Inside I'm going to put a squared minus 17 plus 70.
17a, right? Okay. And then what?
And then I put a 3 down.
Good.
Then I did x minus 7,
A minus 7.
a minus 7, and a minus 10.
There you go. Excellent. Okay, good job. All right, last one. Tristan, number 10. Say again? Okay, greatest common factor will be V. Anybody? Squared, right. Remember, we're always taking out the the lowest exponent. And in this case, that's a 2. Okay. V squared. Okay. Jacob, what's left? Okay.
Minus 13b plus 30.
Good. Plus 30. Excellent. Okay. Wyatt. How'd you factor that?
To negative 10 and negative 3.
All right. V minus 10, V minus 3. And we're done.
Right. Yeah, I did that. Did you put it in? I don't know. That was the hardest quiz I think I've ever
All right. Questions before I hand out the quiz.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's put your iPads away, please. Try not to dilly-dally. We're going to learn something new. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you notice on the worksheet that I gave you for homework, it says factoring A equals 1.
Yes.
What are we referring to when we say A equals 1? The coefficient next to the x squared. So we have x squared plus 5x plus 6. Thank you. Right? Then in front of that x squared is a 1. That's what we're referring to. Remember, I think the other day I showed you, right? Quadratic equation, we're using the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Patrick, put your iPad away, please. So a quadratic takes the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, right, Najee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's a linear equation look like?
A straight line.
What's the form? Mx plus b, right? Okay. So if you notice the difference, when it's linear, the leading term has the x has an exponent of 1. With a quadratic, the leading term has an exponent of 2. That's how we know it's quadratic. What's the shape of a quadratic equation if we graph it? Looks like a U, and we call that a parabola. Yes, okay. So we've been getting slowly more difficult, right? First, we started off with just factoring out the greatest common factor. Then we did factoring where this is a 1. Now we're going to factor when it's not a 1. So we're going to factor when A is a prime number. What does prime mean?
It has no multiple. Yeah.
It's only one and itself, right? Okay, so I'm gonna I'm gonna show you how to factor this, okay? And just a little disclaimer, this factoring is taught in many, many different ways, okay? What we've done so far, everyone pretty much teaches it the same. Then we get into these type, and all of a sudden everybody starts teaching it different ways. They're not wrong. I'm only going to teach you my method. If you've learned it somewhere else and you've mastered it, that's fine. If you have a tutor that's teaching you a different method, that's fine. Don't go to your tutor and say, no, that's not what she taught us. Okay? In fact, Ms. Shavek teaches it a different way than I teach it. Okay? Ms. Shavek teaches the slide and divide method. So that's okay. I teach it this way. There's a reason that I teach it this way, but you don't have to worry about that, okay? So this is what I call my Murray method. So I will refer to that. I'll just tell you, factor it using the Murray method, okay? All right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. First, we look to see if there's any greatest common factor. Is there? No greatest common factor, okay. So now, just move this out of the way. Ah, that was really weird. Let's try that again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to factor the 5x squared. So how do we factor 5? 1 and 5. So we're going to do 1x and 5x. 1x times 5x equals 5x squared, okay? And then we're going to factor the 12. So before I do that, I'm just going to kind of off to the side list the factors of 12. I've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Those are the factors. Sometimes that list is really long, okay? So now I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, I know which, I can look at it right away and I know which ones it is. I'm going to show you the method. So it's not going to work right away because I'm teaching you the method. Okay? And sometimes that frustrates students because you're like, why are we doing this? It's taking so long. I'm doing that on purpose. I want you to see the process that we're going through. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the factors of the 12. So I'm going to start with the 1 and 12, and I'm just going to write them over here, 1 and 12. They're both positive, okay? So I'm guessing what my factors are. So now I'm going to check it. I check it by cross multiplying. What's 1x times 12? 12x. What's 5x times 1? Okay, 5x. We add those together. That equals 17x. I need it to equal 23x.
That's wrong.
So that one's wrong. Okay. Now, before I abandon the 1 and the 12, I'm going to switch their position. So I'm going to make the 12 up here, and I'll put the 1 on the bottom. Okay, and we'll check it again. Now, we can see quickly that that's not going to work because I'm going to get 1x plus 60x, which definitely does not add up to 23x. So I've tried the 1 and the 12 in both positions, and it didn't work. So we cross it off. And we're going to try the 2 and the 6. Right? 2 and 6. And we're going to see if that works. Okay? So we cross multiply. 1x times 6 gives me 6x. 5x times 2 gives me 10x. Did that work?
No.
No, because what does it need to equal? 23. So what do we do now?
Do the last one.
Switch them before we abandon it, switch it, unless you can see that it's obviously not going to work, okay? All right, cross multiplying. We get 2x plus 30x, and that doesn't work, okay? So I've tried the 2 and the 6, and it doesn't work, okay? Now, the reason some people like the slide and divide method is that there's no guessing that goes on there. But it takes much longer. Bless you. And so because I teach the pre-calculus and the calculus, in pre-calculus and calculus, my students need to be able to factor like this, like really quick, not sit there and go through the process of sliding and dividing. The nice thing about slide and dividing is that you don't have this guessing process. But you'll find that as we do these, you'll start to see it much faster. Okay, so let's try the 3 and the 4. Okay, and what happens a lot of times, and it's just happened just now, soon as I started to write the 3 and the 4 in there, I saw the answer. And I saw that this is not going to work. Right, because I get 15x plus 4x, right? But when you write it in there, right away I could see, oh wait, the 4 needs to go with the 5. Now I've got 20x plus 3x, and that equals 23x. So that worked, okay? You will get quick at this. Those of you that are good with your number facts, you're going to get really quick at it, okay? Okay, now we figured out which numbers go where. We cross multiply the check it, but when we form our factors, we go straight across. So this is x plus 4 and 5x plus 3. Okay? How could we check that once we factored it? Factoring is the opposite of foiling or distributing, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's FOIL it out because it kind of helps to pull everything together. Okay? So if I FOIL it, I get x times 5x, which is 5x squared. Well, that's what I did right here, x times 5x, right? And then I go out here and I get x times 3. There's my 3x. Well, that's what happened when I cross multiplied. And then I get 4 times 5x, which is 20x. And that's what happens when I cross multiply. And then I get 4 times 3, which is 12. And that's what I had right here. Okay. Some textbooks, Kristen, you paying attention? Some textbooks teach it where they say to just form the factors like this and you do a guess and check with the factors. And then they have you form it and you keep foiling it out to find which ones work. That takes a long time. But basically that's what I'm doing here. I'm just guessing and then checking to see which ones work. Okay? Okay, let's try another one. You'll start to get the hang of it. Let's look at 3n squared. I'm sorry, we'll make it x. 3x squared plus 7x minus 6. Okay. So what do we start off doing? 1x and 3x. Yes, we're going to factor the 3x squared as 1x times 3x. Okay. All right, now we have to factor the 6. It's a negative 6. So I'm looking at negative 1 and positive 6 or 1 and negative 6. Or we could do negative 2 and 3 or 2 and negative 3. Those are our choices. Okay? When I cross multiply, I need them to add up to positive 7. Which one do you want to try?
6.
Okay, let's just put one in there and we'll try it. right, let's put -1 and 6. Okay. Let's see if it works. How do I check to see if it worked?
You cross it.
Cross multiply. Okay. 1x times 6 gives me 6x. 3x times -1 gives me -3x. Did it work? No. What does that have to add up to? Has to add up to 7x, so it didn't work. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, can I give you another?
No, don't give me the answer because I want to work through the process. Thank you, though. That's what I mean. Some of you are going to see it faster. Okay? It'll come. It'll come. You have to do these practice problems. Okay? Tristan, please put your head up and pay attention. Thank you. Okay. What if I were to switch the 1 and the 6? Would that help? No, because you can see if we switch the 1 and the 6, it's going to actually get worse.
Yeah.
Because 3 times 6 is 18. So this is not going to work. If I change it to a 1 and a -6, is that going to help? No, that's going to give me -6x plus 3x, and it's still not going to work. So it looks like the 1 and the 6 are not going to work. Okay? So remember, before you abandon the numbers, make sure you switch them to see if they work in the other order. Okay, let's try the -2 and the 3. Okay. If I cross multiply, I get -6x plus 3x. That didn't work. So what should I do? Switch them. Let's make it 3 and -2. 3x times 3 is 9x, and look at that, we finally found the right one. That adds up to 7x. Okay, what are my factors?
3 negative.
No, give me the actual factors, the parentheses, the factors.
Oh, 1x.
Yeah, 1x.
Plus 3.
Plus 3.
3x plus 2.
There you go. Remember, our factors go straight across. We only use the diagonal when we're checking it. The factors go straight across. Okay, let's do another one.
You need a 6 times.
Let's do 7x squared plus 39x plus 20. Is there any greatest common factor? No. Okay. Patrick, what do I do first?
You do 1x times 7x.
Yeah, let's do 1x and 7x. Okay. All right, let's look at the 20. What are our options?
1.
20, 2 and 10. 3 doesn't go into 20, so 4 and 5. And that's it, right? All right. We have to add up to what? 39. Which one do you want to try?
2 and 10.
2 and 10, okay. Try the 2 and the 10. Is that going to work? How do we know that? When you cross multiply, I get 10x. Going the other way, I get 14x. They add up to 24x, so it didn't work. Okay, yes, before we do that, though, we're going to switch them just to double check, right? We're going to switch them, put the 10 up top, and we can quickly see that's not going to work because I've got 70x plus 2x, right? So now we can erase that. It didn't work. Let's try the 4 and the 5. 5 on top. See how as soon as we chose 4 and 5, you could see it, right? As soon as you get the right numbers, it's like all of a sudden you see it right away. And you'll get so that you'll see it before you even choose the numbers, okay? All right, cross multiplying, we get 4x plus 35x, which equals 39x. Jacob, what are my actual factors? What are the factors? So we just did all the work, but now tell me what the factors are. The parentheses, these are what we call our factors. Austin?
1x plus 5, 7x plus 4.
There you go. Good. Okay. Those are called my factors. This is just the work that I'm doing to figure out the correct factors. You have to put it in this form to be factored. Okay? Okay, we're going to try another one. Let's do 6x squared minus 74x plus 180. Okay. What do we do first?
1x and 6x.
Greatest common factor. Yes. Greatest common factor. What is the greatest common factor? 2. 2. I don't think 6 goes into 74. So we have 3x squared minus 37x plus 90. Okay? You take that greatest common factor out first. Okay. Now we're ready to factor what's left inside the parenthesis. So we do 3x and 1x. Okay. 3x and 1x. All right, let's look at our possible factors for the 90. 1 and 90. 2 and 45. 3 and 30. Does 4 go into 90? No. 5 and 18. 6 and 15. 9 and 10. Those are our possibilities. Okay. All right, so this is a positive 90, but I need it to add up to a negative number. So what does that mean? They have to both be negative. Both of them have to be negative because it has to multiply to a positive number, but add up to a negative number. Okay, which one do you want to try?
5 and 18.
5 and 18. Negative 5, negative 18. Okay, so I'm going to get, when I cross multiply, negative 5x, negative 18, what does that equal? Negative 54. Did that work?
No.
Okay. If we switch the 18 and the 5, we're going to get negative 15 plus negative 18. Does that add up to 37? No, that adds up to 33. Okay, so the 5 and the 18 didn't work. Negative 9 and negative 10. Well, let's try that. Negative 9, negative 10. We're going to get negative 30 plus negative 9. It's close, but not quite. So now what?
Is it 6 and 15?
Switch them. Don't change the numbers until you switch it and try the other direction. Right? Switch it first because you're going to end up going in circles. It'll take you forever. Make sure you exhaust all possibilities here before you change numbers. This is it. Negative 27, negative 10. There we've got our negative 37. So our factors are 3x minus 10, x minus 9. Don't forget about that 2 with the 2 outside. Now it is completely factored. Okay? Questions? Okay, I'm going to let you do one by yourself. Jake, yes?
Why'd you make all of them negative?
Because it has to multiply up to a positive number,
Okay.
but add up to a negative. Okay, let's do one by yourself. 5x squared plus 26x plus 35.
Say 26.
Oh, I only wrote 2. I'm sorry. That should be 26. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I do apologize for that, but you did recognize it, so that's wonderful. We all make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do we factor the 3x squared? 3x and 1x, right? Okay, now here's my options for the 35. I can see right away that 1 and 35 are not going to work, right? So we know. So it's got to be the 5 and the 7. So I just chose that. Happens to be the right way because this is going to be 21x and that's going to be 5x. So that equals 26x. So we accidentally chose the right factors the first time. So there we are. Right? So as you get more and more practice with this, you'll get faster at it because, like you see, we right away we eliminated the 1 and 35. Okay, so we could get close faster. Yes.
Doesn't matter if the 1x is up above.
So if we had the 1x up first, right? So we'd have to have, like if I did 5 and 7 like that, it wouldn't work. I'd have 15 plus 7. So we'd have to have the 7 up there. And that's okay because you're going to form the same factor.
That works.
Yep, x plus 7, 3x plus 5. Because we're good. Yeah,
Do
You need to bring the 2 down?
there is no 2 on this one.
Oh, you have to bring it on the 3x. Oh, no. I got mixed up.
Yeah.
X plus 7, so they 3x.
Oh, that's okay. You can do that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Listen, no homework. It makes me a little nervous because I know you guys are going to forget what we did come Monday, but I'm assuming that we've gotten this far on Mondays. I'm not reteaching this whole lesson Monday. Okay.